Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And today I want to talk all about the Deadpool epic quest. I want to talk about how to get the character as efficiently as possible in case you're a new player and you just joined and you really just want to get your hands on Deadpool Tier 2 or possibly even Tier 3 ASAP. Also for those veterans who want to make the most out of their resources and make sure that they plan ahead. And also some tips that I have for characters that you can get aside from Deadpool in the quest, and how you can spend your other resources on them more efficiently. I don't actually want to do a cost analysis breakdown on the Psylocke Deluxe Pack versus the Magneto Deluxe Pack. I know a lot of people have that question. Should I get the Magneto Pack to unlock him to get Jean Grey? Or should I get the Beginning of Chaos Psylocke Pack to unlock her to get Strife? Really quickly, I just want to cover that idea. It really just depends on which characters you want more. The Doctor Strange epic quest is kind of on its own because it doesn't have that character, but essentially Magneto gives you the opportunity to get, and of course eventually you will unlock Jean Grey. But in order to do that, you also need to get Wolverine and a few other characters. But the real cost-intensive ones are Magneto for the crystals, and then of course Wolverine for the actual epic quest itself with all the research components, and then of course Jean Grey with all the Phoenix feathers. I don't want to get into the cost of the entire epic quest. It's just more of a question. Which one do you want? On the other hand, you have getting Deadpool, Psylocke of course with the major crystal cost up front like Magneto, and then of course Strife later on for feathers. So the actual three component characters are quite similar. Of course you have Deadpool in addition to Cable, so you do have two kind of native tier 2s instead of just one. But there is a bit of back and forth in terms of the overall cost. So my best answer for you would just be to choose the one you like better, because there really is no correct answer. And I think possibly when all is said and done, they might be very equal in terms of overall value comparing Deadpool, Wolverine, Strife, and Jean Grey. But as far as the Deadpool epic quest goes, there's quite a few things that you can do to prepare yourself, both before you start the quest and also day by day, because it appears to be a 4 or 5 day event or kind of epic quest if you can complete as many possible portions of the quest as are presented to you day after day. The reason why it can't be completed in one day is because there are certain roadblocks or certain objectives that they ask you to do multiple times that you aren't able to do in one sitting. So for example, there is a quest pretty early on that asks you to complete Villain Stage 3 times, Welcoming Committee. There's another quest later on that asks you to complete Villain Stage once. That's 4 villain stage completions, so even if you could get through all of the other quests in between, you cannot refresh Villain Siege, and so you would be left completing the first Villain Siege for the first quest, and then when the second quest asks you to do 3, well, you can only do 2, so that would be a hard roadblock. And so if you can kind of conceptualize, or if you can look at a guide that lists all, I believe there are 54 or 55 epic quest story nodes, if you take the story list, if you can look at all of them, then you can kind of neatly divide them into 4 or 5 parts, and you can see what you need to do for each one. The very most basic strategy is to just never do anything after the daily reset until you've done it in the epic quest. The epic quest will never ask you to do things like open dimension rifts, log in, sign into your alliance, or donate. It won't ask you to do things like alliance conquest or co-op or world boss invasion, so you don't have to worry about exhausting those attempts. I don't even think there are any world boss or alliance raid or shadowland mechanics or legendary battle. So I think all of those things you can do safely, but anything on the mission page, daily missions, special missions, epic quest missions that are within the epic quest, also some dimension rifts but not actually opening them, of course Villain Siege and Timeline Battle are all ones that will be asked of you, so you should be careful to just not do them until you've done the epic quest for the day. To be more specific, I'm actually going to refer to a document now that was put together by a couple of guys on Reddit. I want to thank Extra Reddit and iMuffles for posting this, and I have a link to it down below. But this is the walkthrough for everything, all of the 50 whatever story list quests in the Deadpool epic quest. So for a very easy way of kind of cheat sheeting your way through, of course it might ruin some of the surprise for you, but you can use this to roadmap ahead for exactly what you need. And specifically when it has things like daily missions, the only way to get around that, if it asks you to do more than 2 daily missions per day, per daily reset, is to refresh your daily mission. So if you're wondering why you only got through 30% of the epic quest today and someone else got through 50%, it's probably because they refilled their entries. The only 2 missions that you can really refill entries for that matter are daily missions and special missions. You won't ever need to do it for special missions, but you will need to do it on the first day for daily missions. Otherwise, you'll add on an extra day. The 4 or 5 day completion for the Deadpool epic quest assumes that you're spending as many crystals as possible to refresh game modes. Not actually spending crystals to skip portions of the quest, just to refresh available missions that you can rerun. If you don't do that, it probably extends it to about a week's time, but that's still very quick in comparison to the amount of crystals that you're going to save. Another note that I have for you guys is that there are a couple of missions. I don't know if I can actually show you them on this page, but there are a couple of, they're kind of like research missions, but they're quite frustrating. They're the Death Seed missions. And some people have expressed some confusion about them. Essentially, what they do is there will be a bar. It's similar to a research mission, and you have to just complete story mode missions of any kind. It can be Chapter 1 story mode, it can be Chapter 13, any kind of story mode mission. And when you do, you'll be randomly awarded a number, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, and that will go towards your research bar for finding the Death Seed. The Death Seeds are the seeds that have the life force of Apocalypse to bring him back to life. Small spoiler for the epic quest. And so doing that, your best bet is to spend the least amount of energy possible and complete, Chapter 1 or Chapter 2 story missions so that you can conserve your energy. Additionally, you should be careful when you're spending your boost points because you won't be able to get those back, and the story missions are notoriously bad for boost point kind of ratio because it takes up 6 every time. Unfortunately, for some of these Death Seed research missions, you may have to spend upwards of 500 energy. So for those of you who have a lot of crystals to spend, for those of you that don't have a lot of energy to waste, I would suggest, not recommend, but suggest that you can skip those with crystals. I believe the first skip only costs about 150 or 200 crystals. The next skip is quite a bit more expensive. I think it starts at 1,000 crystals, but you can do a few missions, whittle it down to about 500, or you can take the dive and do all of them and expend your 500 or 600 energy. You do get quite a lot of energy from completing the other missions, so you can always backlog those and then use them up, but you should strategically plan, again, to do your epic quest first if you really want to get as far as possible so that you're not spending your energy kind of carelessly in other things like dimension rifts. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys is the Epic Quest missions within the Deadpool Epic Quest. So we have the Messy Friends mission. Right now, everyone would be this far, as this is the most far you can be, possibly, right now, with just the Phantom X mission. The Phantom X mission itself does have a bug right now, so I wanted to let you guys know. Someone on my Twitch chat pointed this out to me. If you're farming for Phantom X through the Deadpool Epic Quest, and you're also hoping to farm for Rogue from the tracking missions in the Wolverine Epic Quest, you can't. Every time you complete a Phantom X stage and you get one of his bios, for some reason it removes the bios for Rogue. So I actually didn't play any of these missions today, but the game is telling me that I don't have any more X genes for Rogue to collect for the day. It's a very bizarre bug, but I just wanted to point it out to you guys in case there are some of you out there farming both Rogue and Phantom X. You kind of have to choose. The other thing is for the actual characters. I wanted to really quickly go through. As far as for the full epic quest, you're going to need to get a 5-star Phantom X, 5-star Domino, and 5-star Colossus in order to complete the mission. So you don't actually need Psylocke to get Deadpool, just like you don't need Magneto to get Wolverine. But in doing so, you're going to need to probably rank up some of these characters. Now, Deadpool allows you to get Phantom X and Domino through these 10 bios per day, so they are farmable. Colossus is less farmable, but he's also farmable and available through shifter bios. I believe he's in shifter bios for both of these missions, although the rewards for them are quite bad, and I believe he's also available as shifter missions from these missions. I'm not 100% sure, but you can get probably at least 3 Colossus shifter bios per day from the Epic Quest. But again, you should be doing your Colossus Epic Quest shifter bio missions first because there's a limit on how many shifter bios you can get. So again, if you're trying to get shifter bios for Clea from the Dark Dimension missions for Doctor Strange, they are going to be competing with your shifter bios from Colossus, so you do need to prioritize. Also keep in mind, we are getting at least 130 Colossus bios from the faction battle. The winning faction gets 150, the losing faction gets 130. That leads me to my final piece of advice for you guys. I've seen a lot of people asking mega rank up tickets. Who should I use them on? Psylocke? Should I use them on Domino? Should I use them on Phantom-X? Well, you can't actually use a mega rank up ticket on Psylocke because she comes unlocked at 6 stars. As far as a mega rank up ticket or rank up tickets, I would recommend Colossus. Colossus is the hardest character to get if you want to get Deadpool, and unless you already got him through other means, or unless you have other ways of getting him through the X-Gene sub, your tickets are best spent on him. You're going to be able to get Phantom-X and Domino bios from completing the Deadpool Epic Quest, and you can also farm 10 per day per character, which is way more, at least triple the amount that you can get per day for Colossus. So while we are getting some Colossus bios soon, after a couple of days, you really fall behind compared to Phantom-X and Domino. So I would recommend focusing more on Colossus first, and then Domino and Phantom-X for the Deadpool Epic Quest, even though the first roadblock is a 3-star Phantom-X. I know that's the first roadblock for some of you guys that you're probably still stuck at, but hang tight and you'll get those bios eventually, and then you'll feel better when you have Colossus at 5 stars ahead of some other people, and you don't have to struggle through that slow drip of 3 bios per day. Additionally, I believe you can also get bios for both of those characters from the Shield Lab, now that I think about it, whereas I don't think you can get Colossus bios from here, but I might be wrong. You can get Colossus bios from here? No, so even here you can get both Phantom-X and Domino, so it's another incentive to use those rank up tickets on Colossus so that you can get Deadpool faster. That's my goal. So hopefully I've helped you guys prioritize your Epic Quest missions so that you can get as far as possible each day, get to that next roadblock, and catch up to me, because right now I have 61% of the X-Force Epic Quest unlocked and completed. Let me know what you guys think of the guide. Check out the one below in the description because it's very, very helpful for you learners who are not visual and who need all of the stuff written out for you. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me. Hit the bell if you don't want to miss any of my videos. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.